You ever run across houses like these? You see them all the time, right? You walk past them, you drive past them, and you don't know what to do next after you contact the owner and they say, yeah, I want to sell it. Of course I want to sell it. What do you do next? I'm going to show you exactly how to fill out a contract.
Boom. These are my contracts. If you want to do this alongside with me, go to DoruToolsContracts.com, DoruToolsContracts.com, and you can get my contracts that I use for free in the Word format. If you want to go along with this video, you want to watch this video and do it after, it's cool with me. But I'm going to just break down my contracts, right? Because my realtor, she actually came to me and said she met somebody who was trying to get in real estate, and some big name guy out of California, I guess one of those TV personalities, charged this person $10,000 for some just contracts, real estate contracts. Guys, I'm gonna give you mine for free. You know, you don't have to pay me anything. Just, you know, just get the contracts, bro. You know, it's just paperwork. When I got my first deal, I did everything first, got the seller, and somebody gave me their contracts, and I printed it out. But somebody was nice enough to give me their contracts, and I'm hoping I can pay it for it by just giving you my contracts that I use. If you think this is a big deal, just, you know, go out there and be successful. I give you all the information you need. All right, let's break down this contract, right? State of North Carolina. So this is Word doc, so you can put your state. I've had people use these contracts in multiple states. They're simple, easy to use. I've never had nobody come and say, hey, this contract is not valid for X reason, right? So they've been used in multiple states. This contract has been battle tested. It's a simple 2-pager, okay? Now, let's get to it. So, County of Dodge, right? Okay, seller is, all right, so number one, the seller, Mary Smith. Okay, and my company is Big Nas LLC. So Big Nas LLC, you know. We are, the address is, all right, so this is the property, right? And I'm just making all this stuff up, guys. So, yes, now more specifically, a parcel ID, right? So your parcel ID, basically you can get the parcel ID from the city tax card, right? So in Charlotte, if you Google like real estate lookup, Charlotte real estate lookup, or Mecklenburg County Polaris or Charlotte Polaris, you can grab all this information for free. You know, I generally use PropStream that you guys know, that you guys probably familiar with, to get the data that I need. It's easy. And DoruData.com, you get the 7-day free trial. Parcel ID, right? With the parcel ID, you know, you can grab that information. So let's go to number 3, purchase price. We are going to pay $172,000 for this property. And again, I'm just showing you guys how to fill out the contracts. What I like to do, because I'm in North Carolina, is like, hey, I'm gonna put $500, or in this case, $1,000 to be held by the attorney. This is consideration. In North Carolina, you have to have some type of consideration for a contract to be valid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably use the end buyer's money, or sometimes I use my money. But if you're broke, don't worry about it. It's fine. You can use the end buyer's money. That's totally fine, right? So after I give $1,000, then now I owe $171,000. Okay. Let's go to number 4. This portion of sale price not payable in cash will be paid as follows. Third-party financing, I put not applicable. I'm not getting a mortgage. An assumption. Assumption is subject to. You would have to create an addendum. I don't give that out because the addendums vary state by state. So there's an addendum where you can do an assumption on the loan, basically subject to. When the subject to stuff, I do touch on it a little bit in this channel, but I want to say it's no loan after 1980 something. I forgot the year that legally is not assumable. So you need to know and understand how to properly do subject to, so you don't find yourself in trouble. Seller financing. If the seller financing purchase to seller of, let's say, $172,000, and bearing the interest rate, etc. Is there a down payment? And then you can add an addendum. Again, I don't give you the addendum, but this contract, all that's built in if that's what you're doing, right? Number 5, title insurance. Basically, this is saying that in order for you to buy, the title has to be good. You have to get title insurance. Title insurance basically ensures you that this is a good title. So, for example, let's say I bought a house that has 5 heirs. 5 people inherited that property. I only got 4 to sign, right? I got 4 to sign, but the attorney missed that, right? The attorney made an error, missed that, but I was able to get title insurance. And let's say 2 years later, that 5th heir finds out that property was sold without their knowledge, and they step up and say, "Hey, listen, man, I was supposed to get money." And if they step up and try to sue me, what happens is title insurance steps in, takes care of that, and pays. Okay, so that's why the title insurance is great. Even if you're doing double closings, I strongly recommend you getting the title insurance just in case hiccups happen. Number 6, prorations and hazard insurance, right? This is, basically telling the seller, like, hey, listen, keep insurance on the property until closing date, because if the house burns down before closing date, I'm not, buying it. Have insurance. Now, of course, what you're going to find is some sellers that say, hey, I don't have insurance on the property. All right, listen, as long as the house is still there on closing date, we're fine. We're going to move forward. Prorations and the taxes, right? The taxes, what happens, right? With taxes are normally covered by the seller. The seller normally covers those, right? And what happens is if you close on April 30th, right? They are responsible for taxes from January 1 to April 30th for the year 2022, okay? Closing dates. This shall be closed and deed delivered within 45 days from the execution of this agreement. So basically, I'm giving myself 45 days. Sometimes I know 30, 45, because if I don't sell a property in 45 days, then it's probably not a good deal. So I give myself extra room, even though I know I'll probably close in 10 days, right? And what happens is sometimes, in the last few years, attorneys been so backed up, 10-day closings was difficult, so the closing were taking 15 to 20 days. But, I just give myself 45 days. Sometimes I change it to 30. Seller agrees to convey a good title. All right. Basically, you're telling the seller, hey, listen, I'm buying this. Give me a good title. So let's say if you're doing the titles, I'm gonna buy this property for $172,000, but you find out that this seller owes $300,000 to the IRS. This is a true story. They owe $300,000 to the IRS. Their property is worth $350,000. And the IRS is saying, hey, we want out $300,000. We see that you're getting this money. We're not going to let you get that money, and you owe us $300,000. So, that can kill a deal. They can't give me clear title. I can't buy the property. So, being I can't get clear title, I got to walk away. This is another one, right, that you'll come if you're in North Carolina. What people don't know, and I have to explain this to them, it takes 1 to buy, 2 to sell. What that means is, let's say I had 1 property prior to getting married. Well, the day we get married, that property is now hers and mine together. That's right. She becomes 50% joint offer in North Carolina. Not all states are like that. If you want to protect yourself, prenup. But what happens is people try to sell their property and they might be separated, and they don't want to tell the other person that they're selling that previous property they had because they know that person's going to have their hand out wanting money. Yeah, you have to explain that to people, and sometimes that can blow up a deal when they found out that the other spouse has to sign off on the deal because, not everything goes as planned. We get married with the intent to stay married forever, but that's not reality, right? We have a 50% divorce rate in America. And I've seen it, whereas the other spouse will not sign because they have an opportunity to screw over the other spouse. So no, I'm not going to sign. I don't care that I'm going to get 50% of the proceeds. If this selling this property makes that person happy, I'm not signing nothing. They need me? No. So that happens. They got it. And in those events, they're not giving you a good title so you can walk away. Condition the property, right? So with me, right, we buy properties as is. What I do is I put a date here, right? So I give myself a 30-day inspection period, right? So let's, a 30-day, I'm going to put the date April, let's say it's April 1, right? by April 30th, I gotta let you know if I'm closing or not. After April 30th, my $1,000 goes hard, and I owe you that money. And if I cancel this contract before then, you go your way, I go my way. Says contract shall only be renegotiated upon a major defect with an individual repair cost excess. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put NA. Right. That's not applicable. I'm gonna put NA on that joint. I tell the seller, hey, I know I'm buying this as is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put the NA on that joint because, yo, I know I'm buying it as is. I'm not gonna say if the repairs exceed $20,000 or $15,000. You can if you want, but I'm not. And I know I'm buying it as is because I don't want to keep them, scared. Hey, listen, I just need to get my guys in there. I know how to comp properties properly, whereas we know where we need to be at to make a deal happen. Seller warranties, basically, they're basically saying that they don't owe anybody for repairs and things of that nature. And after I buy the house, nobody's going to come down. Nobody's going to come back after me saying, hey, that seller never paid me, so I'm going to attach a lien to the property. Mediation. Any dispute between purchaser and seller related to the contract, we will go through mediation and going through the mediation process. Survival of contract, basically all items, condition, warranties not performed at the time of delivery of the deed shall survive such delivery. Basically, this contract survives. Everything in here survives in the event that they don't deliver, that, this contract is still good. But of course, if there's liens or a dirty lien or whatever the case may be, we just going to walk away from that and cancel this contract. Any additional provisions that you decide to add, they'll be enforced, whatever the case may be, as long as they're initiated by all parties, okay? So, for example, right, let's say that I can't close at $172,000, I can close at $162,000. I can actually print this out, write that $162,000. You're gonna put $161,000 at the second line, and what's going to happen is everybody initial it, right? So I can do this in DocuSign, whereas everybody agrees, the contract is still good, all right? 15, successors and assigns, this contract shall be bound upon any heirs. In the event of their demise, the contract is still good and passed down to their heirs, all right? Revocation of offer by purchaser, right? This contract been first executed by purchaser, if not accepted by noon, all parties by noon on, let's say it's March 3rd, you say, by March 5th, I just put NA there. Because, I don't want them to think that I'm pressuring them. When we send out offers, we say, hey, listen, are you ready to sign the contract today? We try to set an expectation to get them to do something today. You can do that to protect yourself in the event that, you say, hey, this offer is good till March 18th and it's March 12th, right? And they try to sell in April and you're like, well, the market just adjusted, so that offer is no good no more. We got to reevaluate the offer or whatever, Purchaser, then you sign here, that first line of the purchaser, date, sign, seller, date and sign. If it's a couple, date and sign, depending on how many names. All right, let's move on to the next thing, the assignment. The assignment is basically you're assigning them the first contract, right? So when your end buyer, your cash buyer say, hey, I need to see their contract as well, that's totally fine. You're assigning that. However, you can, black out the prices if you think they're going to walk out if they're, assigning. I assign at all levels. I've done $50,000 assignments before. If I don't know a buyer, yes, I will do a double close. So it's case by case. If I got like one particular buyer, like for this property and not like a bunch of people, I might do a double close if I'm making like 40, 50K. Assigns too. This is basically self-explanatory, so I'm not going to fill this out. You put your business entity or your name, okay? You insert the buyer's business entity as well. This is the address of the property. This is when you first signed the contract. So you're going to put your business entity, seller's name, original contract date. This is why I've been using this and like this because, remember, we got the property for, $172. So we're selling it for $190, right? What we're going to do is put the $190 in here, right? So the fee doesn't stick out and bother me. Just going to put the $190. Non-refundable, let's say $2,500. $2,500 is non-refundable. The closing will occur on, I like to give my buyers 10 days. I give them 10 days. So 10 days from every day it is. The closing attorney name or the closing will be at, of course, if you're in a title state, you will put the title company's name. So I'll put the attorney's name. This contract is non-assignable without written permission from, and then you insert the business entity and the time of the essence, okay? That's basically how you would do that, right? You always want to, right, put your business entity. The reason why you want to do that is because if they try to reassign, they have to get your permission first. I've had that happen before. I don't care if they're trying to make a few extra thousand. As long as, you know, they put their money up, their guy can close, we all can close, you know, I'm good to go. Also, like if you are in North Carolina area, if you need an attorney, you can do 24-hour titles. That's an attorney that's in town that, you know, you can utilize. That's one attorney. I'm just throwing that out as a bonus. You can do what I do. Google 24-hour title, and, you know, they can help you out, you know, if need be. You know, that's my contracts, man. This is what I'm still using in 2022 to close deals. You get my contracts for free. All you got to do is go to DoruTools.com. That's really all you have to do. So make sure you go to DoruTools.com. Get your free contract and assignment. Again, somebody paid $10,000 for contracts. I'm giving them to you for free.
Thank you for watching. As you see, vacant houses like these, you can make $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 off of. I just showed you how to fill out the contract, so we took that off your plate, how to contract the property and how to assign it. So I'm hoping this video was helpful for you. Make sure you watch the video next to me. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and comment, was this video helpful or not?